Yo, what's going on YouTube? We're here at Pete Navarro, top 32 at the YCS. Good. What'd you play, man?
I played Majespecter's Demise.
All right, yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it.
Okay. The deck count was 43. I added a card last minute, and it kind of worked out really well. So, to go into the deck list, I played 3 Bambuku, Majespecter, aka Banquiqui. Best card of, it demands respect when it's put in play, so very good. 3 Kyubey, aka Naruto. Very, very good card. It gets all the Majespecter traps necessary. 3 Nikomana, aka Garfield, amazing card. It lets you in phase just do really cool tricks with card of Demise, and it's necessary for the plays. And you need as many scales as possible, so it's important. And playing 3 of every Majespecter is also very key. 3 Toad, aka Kermit. This guy gets you there when you need it to. I had a player when he made Dark Law at BAPK. I ended up using him, and I set Tornado, and I just got rid of the Dark Law after that. So it didn't really hurt me at all in any relevance, because the rest of the cards, you'll lose a card, but this doesn't. So this is very powerful for that. And that was all for the Majespecters, other than the one Kieran. There it is. And the Kieran, because this card is the only reason why I wanted to play the deck. Kieran is just too good. Even though you don't normally use it in the scales to make it, in the mirror match this matters, and also it's just one of the most powerful cards the deck has, and it's just easy access to it. So this card though is insanely good though, and I explain the combo with it in a bit. The one Luster Dragon, it's just one of the best pendulum monsters, so you play it for all the free shenanigans it can do. 2 Archfiend Eccentrics. I was gonna play 3, but I decided only to play 2 because again, it's not an out to anti-spell fragrance inherently, and I mean you can distribute it pop monsters, but I don't really need to worry about that. In general though, the card was really good all weekend. I was comfortable at 2. It was the exact number, and it's a high enough scale so you can bring out Kieran if you have to.
In the school tournament, your event is ready to begin. Please come to the public events banner.
And then what made the deck really good, 3 Card of Demise. Players were playing Ties of the Brethren, which I think is a very terrible card. I mean, I understand that the opening with it is very powerful, but what makes Card of Demise gives you more options, and at the same time, throughout the entirety of the game, it's more important. I mean, plus if you play Ties of the Brethren, you have to play inherently 7 bad cards to make up for it, where Card of Demise lets me just play the 3, and then any other cards I play are just more beneficial to the deck. So I feel like the Card of Demise is the best way to go with it, and coupled with Pot of Desires, inherently this is just not fair. You literally can draw 5 cards in a single turn. I mean, I did at one point where like I scaled everything, 5 back row, and then Bambuku everything, and it was just the hand was so good that your players just have to scoop because there's nothing they can do to this. Like 5 new cards is like you're playing with 10, so it's pretty much unfair, especially because the Majespecters are adding cards too, and there's also combos with Card of Demise. It's also important. I'll explain that too. Okay. 2 Majesty's Pegasus and 1 Terraforming. This was actually perfect all weekend. I never saw 2 together, and it actually worked out really well. 43 cards is kind of weird because theoretically it's not possible for you to always draw your one-ofs, so mix and matching is actually pretty healthy for you, and since you can tutor for pretty much everything in the deck, it allows you to just progress your game state whenever you need to, and if you anything you desire doesn't inherently hurt you, and I think that's like the perfect thing about it. And this was great all weekend. So Majesty's Pegasus is just an unfair card as a result. My 43rd card was Twin Twister. This was probably a really, really solid choice. I don't deny ever playing it. The fact that this actually helped me against the mirror match, I blew out Scales. It helped me against the Blue Eyes matchup. He had a poor start. I blew away his Phoenix Wing Blast, and I just OTK'd him on the following turn. This card is just really, really good.
What did you talk to about Twin Twister?
I talked to quite a few people, actually. I just came to the conclusion I wanted to play it. This list is for almost 42 cards of it is my friend Jason's build. The only difference is that he just said consider 43, 44. I decided 43, so I put Twin Twister in, and it was the healthiest choice. Originally I was gonna play Regeki, and I decided that I didn't want to do it. It was a bad idea, and inherently it wasn't. I played 7 Blue Eyes matchups, and I lost only to round 1, and I literally won the rest of them, and then I lost round 10 to Metaphos, but that was just because we were going to top deck mode. And then I lost to Blue Eyes, but I never only drew this against the Blue Eyes matchups when it was relevant, and then it wasn't relevant. But it's really good then. I'll explain the combos why it's good. For the trap cards, I played 17. I played 3 Tempest and 3 Tornado for the Majespecter traps. I thought that I was going to play only 3 and 2, but 3 and 3 was actually very solid, especially if you go against Mirror Match, it's very relevant. And against Blue Eyes, if you just keep shutting down the alternative with Tempest, it's basically 1 less soul charge target and 1 less return target. So they actually have to do more plays in order to do it, and then that's why Tornado just cleans up the work with the rest of it. And then, that was just for the Majespecter traps. And then I played the Solemn Brigade, 3 strikes and a warning. There's a funny game I had against Pendulum Mirror for Majespecters. I opened up hand was 3 strikes, a Pendulum Reborn, a Kieran, and a Kyubey. That became, because I went second on the play. I debated for about 2 minutes whether or not I was just going to scoop because he was playing Majespecters, it was going to take forever, and I knew my hand wasn't as great. I kept it, and we played for about 20 minutes of a game, and I won single-handedly because I was able to Twin Twister to resolve stuff to get rid of his scales. I not only Solemn Strike once, but 3 times, and I resolved Warning, and I resolved Tempest, and I won because he had no Majespecters anymore. I literally won that matchup because I resolved all of the counter traps. So that was just insane. I didn't deserve to win that one, but because it happened, I was happy about that. So Vanny's Emptiness is just too good as a 1-up. The best card the entirety of the entire weekend, Pendulum Reborn. This card is very unfair in this deck. As long as you make sure that it's Chainlink 1, you're always going to resolve your Majespecter cards because they'll miss timing if it's Chainlink 2 or higher. The thing is, though, this card allows you to sack your Majespecters on your opponent's turn, then revive them and search on your turn, and then allow you to make more plays on your following turn. So if someone breaks your scales, you can bump Buku to search and get the other scale you need, rescale, and then restart the engine all over again. Another cute little trick with it is why it's important, is if you play Twin Twister and card or Demise any of your Pendulum scales, it revives it from the extra deck or the grave. So you're inherently going to be able to revive those cards back. So cards like Kieran, which you can't normally summon, I just discarded it with Twin Twister, which I did, and then this revived it, and it's impossible for your opponent to beat it. And that's why it's too good not to inherently to do it. It allows you just to continue your plays, and then also like for some exceeding combos that you need to do, and that's why I really liked it a lot. Alright, and then the last trap I played, which wasn't really all that important, is 3 Drowning Mirror Force. I actually I think I resolved it once this entire weekend. I always sided them out. I mean, it's for expected and non-expected boards. None of my opponents ever saw it, so that was kind of like a good thing. So I didn't really care for it, and also I'm not really worried about it staying in the deck, so I can always switch it in and out, and that's what helps about it. Especially if I desire it, I really don't care. So, alright. On to the extra deck. Played 1-0 Dynamister Power. This actually won me a match against a Blue Eyes matchup for round 8. And because of it, I was able to get top 32. And I basically protected my scales, locked them out of Twin Twister, and then just kept resetting the scales again with all the Majespecters, and I just won from there. This card is ridiculous, especially because it protects your Majespecters, so you don't inherently have to use your trap cards immediately on them. And it's just insane for that card. Ignister, it's just good. It's always going to win you games. Totem Bird, very, very good. This deck can inherently make it, that's why it's powerful. And then negating like mirror matches and anyone that relies on scales and spells, you're just going to win. Break Sword's kind of in the same theory, deals with floodgates, allows you to go for OTKs and games and stuff like that. And just basically a safety, and that's why you play it. Nightmare Shark, I only made this once the entire weekend, and it beat me against a Blue Eyes matchup. He was at 1900, he had already committed the board, he had a set return, flips it. Once he had no back row, I was guaranteed to win, so I just used this and then did attack for game. Only time I made it, but it was relevant enough that it won. 1 Acid Golem. The reason why I play the Acid Golem is because the 3000 matters for when you're going to OTK for someone. So I pop it with Purple Trapeze Magician. And because I used this happened a lot this weekend. I did it twice, and I just attack for game. I beat an Infernoid player with it, and I also beat Blue Eyes with it. So it was important that these were together. And plus, you can pop your opponent's cards on their turn, so that's also relevance to it too. Dweller, I never made this weekend. I actually don't even know why I played it. I have an amazing Burning Abyss matchup, so I don't even honestly know why I played it. It probably would be a Steelsworn Roach in the long run, but I mean, it's there if you ever come to that situation. So, Lightning Chidori, one of the best rank 4s you can make, and because this deck has wind, it's the best way to use it, and this is very good. So, Diamond Direwolf and Castell, I didn't make these, but you have to play them because they're very good cards. So, playing the Utopia package. This is good. You have to play it just in case the situation arises for it. You don't always do it, but it's important for a reason, though. And then the last thing I played was I played a Sided Exceed Universe, and these are the 2 targets I played, Diamond and Giant Trainer. Again, I don't have any difficult matchup against BAPK, and I actually resolved this, and it was pretty sad. Game 2 that I played, I 2'd the BAPK player because he had Beatrice out. Well, first he had Dante, then he Tour Guides, and then he's able to exceed into having another Break Sword, I think he had in play, yeah. And then he makes Beatrice, so then what I do is I Exceed Universe's 2 cards into Giant Trainer, so he doesn't know what to do at that point, so what he does is that he Desires, and then I end up decking him out because he only has 1 card left in deck. So this card inherently is like, it's unfair, and then also you just detach and just draw a card. And then against Diamond, it's also good if they make 2 Dantes, or a Break Sword or whatever, and you use their materials and they can't add, so this just shuts them out of everything. That's inherently why you play it. Now onto the sideboard. I side decked triple Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. This card is amazing. It's pretty much allows you to control the state of the game. There is very few outs to this. I mean, other than the standard like Book of Eclipse, Swords of Concealed Light, just the generic outs that are for any like Vanity's Fiends. What makes this better though is that it can't be kaiju'd inherently only by the wind, the butterfly, and no one's playing the butterfly, so therefore this automatically is one of the hardest monsters for the decks to deal with. So it's just a small level 4 wind that just gets you in there. All your guys are wind spellcasters, so it doesn't affect you at all. And this, comboed with any Majespecter in back row, prevents you from being like assaulted in any way. And this is actually really, really good. To Leeching the Lights, this was for Blue Eyes. I actually never resolved it this entire weekend. Probably going forward, I'd still probably use it. I'd probably take out maybe one of the statues, but this actually was very helpful in the fact that it's just if you make a big board, they have a Blue Eyes, you OTK them. It's just everything's over 3k plus and they're going to lose. That's why it's there. Other than that though, it's okay. I'd probably side Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. That card is just too powerful versus that matchup. If you play that, you can single-handedly win the matches if they have no out with the other guys. I cited Soul Drain. This is actually really good. I beat all my Blue Eyes matchups because of it, because it couldn't resolve their White Stones. And because of that happening, they can't remove, they can't special summon, and it just allows me just to slow roll them, and then I can just outrace them. This card was good. It's also good for BA PK and also for water, because this deck has a difficult time against that, because blowing your entire back row it happens very fast against literally against the Atlanteans. So, alright. And then I played 2 Full House, aka Bob Saget, because this card is beyond, like, I blew out all my mirror matches because of it. And my opponent, he actually went first on a game. Summoned Toad, set a card, set another back row, activated Moon Mirror Shield. I had drawn this opening hand, and then I desired, made a play, set 3 back rows, summoned Cat. He goes, draws, plays Majesty's Pegasus, summons Crow. He sacks Crow and Majesty's Pegasus, I resolve Full House, and I blow him out. He only has Archfiend Eccentric in his hand, and he puts Moon Mirror Shield to the top of his deck. So all I have to do is deal with the Frog. I draw, and I top deck Majesty's Pegasus, and I just OTK him at that point. There's nothing he could do. Just because the Full House took so many resources away from him, that it just went from there. This card is beyond necessary for that matchup. Another thing I cited was Triple Typhoon. Typhoon is mainly meant for Metaphos and Mirror Match. And the reason why it's important for those matchups is because you need to be able to control the back row, and this is just something I feel that's good, that encompasses really well with Twin Twister, and you want to deal with Anti-Spell Fragrance, Pendulum Scales, it's important for that reason. And this actually came relevant when I played against Metaphos on round 6. What he ended up doing is that he ended up making all his Pendulum Scales, popped all of his cards, was left with the Pendulum 8 scale, and then he dropped Vector, and Vector was basically going to shut down all the Majespecters because I can't activate their effects. So I just literally Typhooned the Vector, he had no other play, I draw, and then just Pendulum Summon 5, and then just attack your game. This card is again, it's necessary. I do like Ghost Ogre, but I have to use this technically with this deck, it just needs it. The 2 Exceed Universes to compass the monsters that I played, very, very good. This card, again, just makes those matchups a lot easier. And then the card that was probably MVP for this weekend, Unwavering Bond. A lot of people are not playing this, and especially Majespecters, which I don't understand. This card was the best card because what it does is that when you play against any mirror match or any pendulum matchup, it makes it a lot easier for you to deal with them. What this does is that, for one thing, it's a counter trap, and when a pendulum monster in the monster card zone or the pendulum zone activates its effect, it negates it and then removes it from play. So that means that you don't have to deal with any of those cards for the rest of the game. It's also one of the best outs against Kirin because it's a bigger body, and if you just need it out of the way at hand, and then also at the same time when you play against Metaphos or Archfiend Eccentric, it helps deal with all of those cards so they can't out your resources. So this card in and of itself is the best thing. I don't know why it's a $2 to $3 card, but this card it's the out that everybody needs. And against Mirror Match, you just remove Bambuku or anything that they're trying to add, and you just don't deal with it anymore. So this card, again, it was just amazing. So.
Got you. Any shout outs real quick?
First off, I want to give a shout out to my business. It's Rare Hunters. We're located in California, and we deal right now with Yu-Gi-Oh! And Card Fight Vanguard, and we're also going to be dealing with Pokemon too. So that's going to be really, really good. I want to give a shout out to pretty much all my friends. I appreciate all the support. It's always good to see everybody. I mean, it's one reason why I'm even here, honestly, because I haven't played for quite a while competitively. But I've had a really great time. Shout out to all you guys. Everybody, anybody that profiled me. So I appreciate it all. So.
All right, no problem. Well, Pete, congratulations to you, and we'll see you next time. We out.